Right, Clarets, fan reaction, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Burnley nil. Welcome back to the Premier League. It's brought us a bit back down to earth now, hasn't it? Before the game, I was confident we could go to Tottenham and get something. And I think the performance in the first half showed that there were, you know, justification for that positiveness. We all know that I'm probably one of the most positive Burnley fans, and banging on about winning the title last season, and still up to the final day thought it was going to happen. Um, but yeah, I think today, first half especially, I thought we played well. Um, we had seen that after losing 3-0, in the opening game, but that's what you get in the Premier League. Teams like Tottenham aren't the teams that we need to be worried about. It's teams that are going to be in and around the relegation zone. That's where we're going to get, we need to be getting the points from. Get a point against a team like Tottenham, it's a bonus. But like I said, that first half, we were well in it. Maybe the first 10, 15 minutes, we've let Tottenham dictate the play. We've shown them a little bit too much respect. And obviously, the Richarlison opening goal, it's a good move. Kudus crosses it in and Richarlison just taps it into the back of the net. It is a good move. Could we have done a little bit better? Probably. I think, Steve and Cullen in particular, which is strange saying that them two, caused not caused the error particularly, but them two combined probably could have done better to get the ball away, instead of allowing Kudus to, get the cross in. And then obviously, like I say, Richarlison's tapped it into the net, and could Dubravka have done better? Probably, but it's a smart finish from Richarlison. I'm not going to take anything away from that, and I'm not going to sit here and slag Steve and Cullen and Dubravka off, and anyone really, because it's opening day of the season. These lads have got us to where we are. Obviously, Dubravka has only just come in. It's his first game in a Burnley shirt. We're here. It's a long old season. And like I say, teams like Tottenham aren't the teams that we need to be worrying about. But I thought after the goal, we really stepped it up. We created some really nice movements. We had the chances. I think, Foster maybe lacks a little bit on decision making. Jaden Anthony on the left hand side, questions were asked about him in the starting 11. A lot of people have questioned about, is he good enough for the Premier League? I think today showed for me that he is good enough for this league. And he will create chances. I think the lad basically, the amount of goals and assists that he got last season and the chances he created, the lad deserves a chance in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think Anthony did well today, particularly that first half. Josh Laron, another one who's, had questions raised about him. I thought, again, first half, I thought he played well. Not particularly outstanding, but I did think he played well, and he had a couple of chances himself. And on another day, one of them, curlers might end up in the top corner. But yeah, like I say, first half, I thought we were pretty decent, and it was a very evenly matched game. The possession stats obviously didn't say that, but in terms of chances created and shots taken, we were, pretty level. And then second half, we've come out second half and we're trying to create as many chances as we can. We've tested Vicario quite a lot. And then, again, Kudus puts the ball in and Richarlison scores an absolute fantastic overhead kick. Sometimes you've just got to hold your hands up and just say, it's a good goal. And it was a good goal. So, can't knock anyone for that. Maybe we've given him a little bit too much space in the box to actually be able to make that movement and score that goal. But for me, I can't lay the blame on anyone for that one. It's just one of them where you just have to hold your hands up and say, what a great goal. And then the third goal for me, Steve's on the halfway line with a head injury, and I think it's pretty poor refereeing. I mean, I think the referee today was pretty poor, in terms of the penalty appeal. A few niggly fouls from both sides, blowing them, blowing for the free kick. I think Howard Webb said something about the threshold of a foul is much higher this season, but I didn't see that in today's game or in the Liverpool game last night. It just seems to be the same old Premier League, which we know what we're going to get, and you expect it from this league now, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think the referee should have blown for the foul on Esteve, but instead he was playing advantage for a foul on Richarlison, which baffles me as well. And then Brennan Johnson's another smart finish. Dubravka probably could have done better. Ekdal as well probably could have done better getting to the ball. But it's a smart finish from Johnson, and they've got the quality of players that they've got. That obviously we can't quite match. You look at the players that they were able to bring on compared to the players that we were able to bring on, and a lot of our fans are sat there saying, yeah, this is a really strong bench, but when your options are players like Zian Fleming, who you've just signed from Millwall, or they had like Matthias Tell, who's they've got from Bayern. So yeah, it's a tough one to take. Obviously, first game of the season back, you always want to get up and running. But I think there were a lot of positive signs in the game today. And yeah, like I say, I just would have liked to get a goal or something just for the travelling fans. Just to get on the score sheet really and get the season going a little bit. Because I thought the first half performance especially warranted us getting a goal. Second half, maybe not in particular. We might not, probably weren't as good in the second half. But we have seen that with Scott Parker teams before. We saw that with our Scott Parker team last season. That one half we would play better. But yeah, we've got a big game against Sunderland next weekend. These are the games where we do need to be looking at getting points. And I honestly, I think it's such a shame that the international break is coming round so soon. Like, we've got 2 weeks and then it's international break again, and it baffles me. Like, we need to get up and running, and that's just going to stall progress, really. But yeah, when we go into the international break, sorry, my point about that is get to the international break and we need to have some points on the board by then. And obviously United away, it's one of them where we could end up getting all 3 points. We could end up getting spanked 5-0. You never know with Man United. So next weekend's massive for us against Sunderland. Obviously they've just had a good result against West Ham, so we need to start getting points on the board, so we don't get cut adrift like we did last time, because that was the biggest issue last time. The start killed us, and then we were playing catch up for the rest of the season. So we need to try and get as many points on the board as soon as we can. Big chance to do that next weekend against Sunderland. Happy to be back. Happy the new season started. I'm happy we're in the Prem. We know the answer to that. But happy football's back, happy Burnley's back, happy Turfcast's back. Up the Clarets.